Is Transport Fever 2 still worth a buy in 2022? If you think it's too late for you to join on the fun on this game, you're definitely wrong. Transport Fever 2 may have been launched at the end of 2019, but it's still getting updates and still one of the best resource management game out there today in 2022. I'm StratGamer covering strategy, city building games, simulation with game reviews, guide, tutorials and let's play. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't hesitate to press the red button below so you never miss another video and you help support the channel. Let's dive why I think this game is definitely still worth a buy in 2022 and why I'm planning to cover it quite a bit this year. While Transport Fever 2 is first and foremost a sandbox game, it actually has a campaign. It's sort of a great tutorial. In chapter 1 of the campaign you go from 1860s to the early 90s, also discovering many maps across the world with really great visuals, but also explaining of course to you the gameplay, following a bit of a story, but honestly the story is not that great. It's just that it is a good tutorial, but it is a good tutorial that's often missing in those sandbox type games. And then you go to chapter 2 and 3 and arrive into a modern era. So you discover along the way many trucks, trains, boats and planes of each of those eras. If you're still lost after this campaign, there are some manuals on their website that I will put in the description of the video below. But more importantly, I'm planning to do a few guides in the next few weeks to help you ramp up, to help you understand how to make money in this game, how to best optimize or make your cities beautiful, as well as a let's play. If you're excited by it, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below so I know to get it to you as quickly as possible. But as I said, it's mostly a true sandbox with random map generation. You can change how much hillness or mountains there is, how much water, if you want a lot of water, how much forest, from temperate to dry to tropical. Also the size of the map, if it's a square, or rectangular, how many cities you have versus how many industries you have. All of this available from the start in the base game. But on top of that, you also have a complete map editor. And in this map editor, you can really build everything you want, from towns of different sizes to placing whichever industries you want, wherever you want on the map. Of course, also creating different topology of the terrain, adding trees and rocks and anything that you may want to on the map. So really a true map editor where you can create maybe a map that resembles where you live or something famous like New York. And it was noting that you actually get also access to all of this while you're playing any map. So when you're playing, even if you're playing a classic map, you can also later on change a bit the terrain or add assets. The only thing is that it will often cost you money to do so. And on top of that, it also has full modded support through the Steam Workshop with thousands of mods, from maps to new vehicles, new buildings and much more, to create even more replayability for you. Of course, this is a simulation game. This is not the most amazing AAA graphics that you will ever see in your life, but honestly, for such a simulation game, they are pretty good. You can see the level of details on the buildings, on the people. And the amazing thing is you can even follow in first-person mode all of those vehicles. For example, I am now inside my truck. See, this truck driver is transporting some grain. We can follow it along the road. I mean, this road is pretty boring, but some others, especially when you're inside a town, can be a lot better. You see some fields over here, some cows. But now let's talk gameplay. You transport people and cargo to do two things. One, to make money, and two, develop your cities and industries. The more resources you deliver to this city here, the more transportation option there is inside the city, but also outside. For example, a train or a tram that goes, or even a plane that goes to another city. The more this city will organically grow, the more it will also become denser, going from those small houses, those large buildings. Be able to make this money to transport people and cargo. You're going to need to build and pay to build those infrastructure, building new roads or new tracks, building new truck stations or bus stops, passengers or cargo stations, airports, and of course buying also the actual vehicles. Here you can see some of the buses that are available to me at this point, some of the cargo trucks that are available, and remember that all of this is linked to your era, from the 18s, 50s to today. While you manage all of those routes for delivery and transporting passengers, you also have to be careful about traffic jams, but also emissions, pollution, basically trying to avoid pollution in your residential areas. And as I said, you can choose to start in 1850s or you can choose to start directly in 2000. You can also change at which speed the dates moves, and this is not linked to the game speed that you can see here. So that's really cool if you want to stay for a long time in a certain period. I mean, you can actually even pause. So for example, if you really like all of the planes and all of the trains that were only available in 1950s, for example, well, you can go to the 1950s and then stop the time and just stay there forever. And as we said before, you have trucks, trains, boats, but also planes to play with. All in all, this game really offers a dream for simulation and resource management players, while having honestly a fairly good and fairly simple UI UX. This is where you manage your new lines. For example, you click here to create a new line, then you say start in this station, go to that station, maybe you can continue even to that station if you want. In each of the station you can say, should you wait for the goods or not. You can even say which good to take or not take if you don't want to take everything that's available. And of course, then you can change the name of the line and all those type of things, change the names of all of the towns too. So definitely worth a buy in 2022, in my opinion. I don't see a lot of competition in this type of game. If you like it, tell me if you did agree with my assessment in the comments below. Don't hesitate to also check my top 10 of the 2022 games that will appear now at the top and will also be in the description below. And I hope to see you next time for more strategy city building games or even more Transport Fever 2.